Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So, they out here having to just be with each other, which is crazy work. It's crazy work for real. Okay. This says Sharon Sloss Lewis unexpectedly found love and married her friend Patricia Lynn Lewis after 2 prior marriages to men. Sharon shared her unique quote unquote love story, explaining she was strictly heterosexual throughout her life and marriages to men. Now, this is key. We're going to get back to that. It was only after her second divorce in 2014 that she made the conscious decision to be open to love in any form it might take, which included the possibility of dating women. She and Patricia, who had also been married to a man previously, initially connected on Match.com. A humorous and surprising twist in the story is that Patricia had actually dated one of Sharon's ex-husbands, a coincidence that initially seemed strange to them both. Despite this, they bonded quickly over their shared sense of humor and the effortless communication they experienced, which Sharon noted was lacking in her previous marriages. After a year of long-distance dating, Sharon and her daughter moved from Nashville to Maryland to be with Patricia. I guess Patricia's the dude in the relationship. The couple lived together for 2 years before tying the knot in a meaningful ceremony in December of 2017 at the Salamander Resort in Virginia. Their children from previous marriages were a significant part of the ceremony, with Sharon's 2 sons walking her down the aisle and Patricia's son walking her down the aisle, symbolizing the creation of their blended family. And before I get into the meat of all the problems that's here, I gotta give a shout out to some of the women in the comment section, because listen, she said, ain't no bad relationship making me turn to no woman. I'll just be single forever. That's what I'm saying. Another woman said, them ex-husbands somewhere saying, I knew it. Another woman said, I've had some bad relationships in my life, but I can't be with a female. I'll just stay single. Another one said, man, I've been with the best and the best of the worst, and I ain't never said, let me just be with a woman. I'm good on that. Okay. Okay. We good. We good on it. Somebody said, I don't think the husband was the problem. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Another woman said, I love my bestie, but not that much. See, because the reason why I had to give a quick shout out to the women in the comment section that was not down with trying to be with no woman just because you done had some bad experiences with men, I had to give a shout out to that, because so many people think that every woman is down for that at some point, and we not. I'm not going that way, because I just don't go that way. And there are not any situations that make me think about, man, I should be with a woman. I don't care what a man did. A man could have knocked my head between the washer and the dryer. I'm gonna get away from him, but I ain't trying to turn in my straight card. We keeping that. We keeping the straight card. We not doing nothing else. So getting down to this is kind of crazy for several reasons. The obvious one, right? But then you had the Sharon lady. I don't know who's who. You got the Sharon lady who was married 2 times. So 2 marriages failed. You were the common denominator in each. Okay. It's key right here when it says, after the second divorce in 2014, She made a conscious decision to be open to love in any form it might take, which included the possibility of dating women. And I found that to be interesting because instead of going to even another race of men, even another culture of men or demographic of men, you're so problematic as a woman that you said, I might as well be with a woman. I'm open to quote unquote love because I am insufferable in some kind of way. I cannot make a healthy relationship work. I can't make a relationship work. I don't understand men. I may or may not respect men. I may or may not like men. And I don't mean sexually. I mean like, you know, when you don't have respect for them, you tend not to like them either, right? And I can't really keep a healthy relationship going with a man because apparently I don't know how to be a wife. I don't know how to do this. Okay. I am a problem in all of my relationships. This one's not gonna work either. The other one was also married to another man. Now the part here that I also want to focus on is that the Patricia lady had dated one of Sharon's ex-husbands. So you two are more alike than you want to acknowledge because you're attracting the same men. Literally, not only are you attracting the same kind of men, you're attracting the same men. I would have liked to know how that happened, seeing as these two were in different states. So that's interesting. But in any case, just focusing on the type of men that these women are attracting. Whoever these men are, they're attracting the same kind of men, likely because they are the same kind of woman. And so her dating experience did not culminate into a marriage with that man, and it was the same man between the two of them. So this lets me know that these two women are very similar. And so because they're very similar, they are attracting similar kinds of dudes. They're attracting that energy. And it also lets me know on another note that the guy, he ain't learned his lesson. Apparently he has a type, and those relationships don't work with these types of women that he picking. So he needs to figure out why he's attracted to these women anyway, who appear to be problematic in their relationships with men. Okay. So it says, despite this, they bonded quickly over a shared sense of humor and effortless communication that they experienced, which Sharon noted was lacking in her previous marriage, i.e., they trauma bonded. That's what that means. This is a trauma bond. So what they started doing was trauma bonding, man hating. Oh, girl, these men doing this and that. Oh, you dated him, girl. I was married to him. That was my ex-husband. That was your ex-husband, girl. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And all of that type of stuff. For all we know, one of them was a side chick. We don't know. That's real crazy to me. Right? Okay. So then we have these two finally getting together, one moving to see the other one, something she probably never would have did for a man. And now they're married. We don't know if they're still married or not. The marriage happened in 2017. So this was a number of years ago. Okay. So when I ran up on this story, I instantly thought about how on these social media sites, it's common for a lot of hyenas to be saying that the men don't like women, so they need to be with men. And it's interesting how a lot of what the hyenas talk about is usually projection, and it's usually something that they have to experience as well. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the majority of women are doing this. This seems to me a fringe type of thing or a minority type of thing. But it's interesting to me that y'all are having to group up like this because you are so ineffective as a wife to a husband. What it tells me is you don't know how to deal with masculine, any kind of masculine energy. You don't know how to deal with masculine energy. Okay? You don't know what to do with masculine energy. You're probably busy trying to be masculine or trying to emasculate the man or tell him what to do or trying to in some way assert dominance in a relationship or feeling as though any kind of following of his leadership and things of that nature is demeaning to you or belittles you or degrades you in some way. And so that strikes me as just their problem. That's their problem. These seem like boss chicks. They're a little bit older. These are not young women. These women are older. They have grown children. You know, they probably have some higher education or degrees or maybe a high paying job or something like that. And they were just too good for these men. They were too good for these men. And the reason why I'm saying that this probably may or may not work either is because I don't believe either of them are actually lesbians. And the lesbians don't have a good marital track record. Not only from the perspective of like violence or whatever, but the women not getting along because they're women. Because they're women. Okay. And living together in a so-called relationship, somebody has to take that masculine energy role. And even then, it still don't be working because studs be ended up with like feminine lesbian girl, and that don't be working either. That don't be working either. Y'all are having to be out here marrying each other because y'all could not make marriage with a man work. And never did you stop to think it's probably me. I'm probably an issue. There's something going on with me that makes me the issue. But no. It's everybody else's fault. It's always the other, it's the husband's fault. It's the ex-husband's fault. They were doing this, doing that, not communicating, this, that, and the third. And so the marriage dissolved, not because of anything that they were doing, not because of any kind of flaws that they had, not because of any kind of shortcomings that they had or things that they would not correct or things that they would not see to. It's not because they weren't fulfilling the needs of the men and this, that, and the third. It was because the men were X, Y, and Z. And so this is why these marriages couldn't work. Her marriage or the other marriage. So they ended up being with each other because they're basically the same woman. This is the same woman. I just thought this was crazy. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host of The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.